Are you eating clean, avoiding red meat, sipping on herbal teas, and yet watching your creatinine levels climb higher and higher if your GFR keeps dropping, and no one can explain why? I know exactly how terrifying that feels. Because what starts as a silent number on a lab test can turn into dialysis hospital visits and a life ruled by machines far sooner than anyone expects. I'm Dr. Johnny, and I want to give you a wake-up call. Kidney decline doesn't always happen because of what you're doing wrong. Sometimes it's because no one has ever told you what to do right. That's why millions of people, even those following healthy diets, are still walking straight into kidney failure without realizing it. But here's the truth that most doctors don't say out loud. There are 5 powerful grains, simple, natural, affordable, that can actually lower creatinine, improve GFR, and take pressure off your kidneys before real damage locks in. One of them acts like a natural filter in your gut, trapping waste before it ever touches your bloodstream. Another contains unique compounds so powerful that pharmaceutical companies have spent millions trying to copy them, but nature still does it better. And today I'm going to reveal them all. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which grains to eat, how to prepare them safely, and how to rotate them into your week so your kidneys don't just survive, they get a real chance to heal. Let's start with the first grain, and trust me, this is not just a breakfast trend. Steel-cut oats are one of the very few foods that actually lighten the load on your kidneys before damage even begins. Think of them as a silent sponge inside your gut, soaking up nitrogen-based waste cholesterol and excess sugar before they ever reach your bloodstream. And every bit of waste trapped in your gut is one less burden your kidneys have to struggle with. Take Margaret's story again. When we swapped her sugary instant oatmeal packets for properly prepared steel-cut oats, her numbers began to shift within weeks. Why? Because those little oats are rich in soluble fiber, about 4 grams in just 1 cooked cup. And that fiber is powerful. Clinical studies show it doesn't just lower cholesterol, it physically binds waste so your kidneys don't have to. At the same time, oats release unique antioxidants called avenanthramides. These compounds fight inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 of the main silent killers of kidney filters known as glomeruli. Lower inflammation means less scarring, steadier filtration, and a fighting chance for your GFR to hold strong. But here's the trap most people fall into, thinking all oats are the same. They're not. Those instant flavored packets you find in the grocery aisle, they're loaded with added sugar and nearly 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's enough to spike blood pressure and quietly damage kidney vessels day after day. The truth is only plain steel-cut or rolled oats, unflavored, unsalted, slow-cooked, deliver the kidney protective benefits we're talking about. Robert, a 59-year-old retired electrician I treated, is proof of this. His morning routine of instant oatmeal was sending his blood pressure through the roof. Within 6 weeks of switching to plain steel-cut oats with cinnamon and a drizzle of olive oil, his morning blood pressure dropped by 15 points, and his afternoon energy soared. Preparation matters just as much as the food itself. Soak your oats overnight in filtered water, cook them slowly for 20-25 minutes. Never add salt, and use natural spices like cinnamon or cardamom instead of sugar. If you crave sweetness, add a few sliced berries, never bananas, never syrup. A teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil turns it into a kidney-healing powerhouse. And here's the key: consistency. 3 to 4 times a week, especially in the morning when your body's coming off a long fast and blood sugar is easiest to stabilize. Stable glucose means lower insulin. Lower insulin means less inflammation, and less inflammation means less pressure on your kidneys. Steel-cut oats aren't just food. They're your kidneys' first line of defense, but only if you prepare them the right way and only if you make them a routine. But just knowing this isn't enough, because there's another grain completely gluten-free that works quietly in the background, and it's often overlooked even though it can be safer than rice and easier on your kidneys than you think. Now, oats are powerful, but not everyone can handle the mineral load of common grains, especially when kidney function is already declining. That's where buckwheat steps in, a food that sounds like wheat but isn't wheat at all. It's completely gluten-free, safe, and surprisingly gentle on the kidneys. What makes buckwheat special is that it's naturally low in absorbable phosphorus and potassium. That means even if your GFR is dropping, buckwheat won't overload your system. At the same time, it delivers 3 kidney-friendly gifts: fiber to sweep waste from your gut, magnesium to relax blood vessels and ease blood pressure, and rutin, a unique plant compound proven to strengthen fragile capillaries, including the microscopic vessels that surround your kidney filters. In other words, buckwheat doesn't just fuel your body, it protects the very architecture of your kidneys. Let me give you an example. Susan, a 64-year-old teacher, came to me exhausted every afternoon. Her lunch white rice. It spiked her blood sugar, left her drained by 3 p.m., and silently stressed her kidneys with every insulin surge. When we replaced her rice with buckwheat groats tossed with olive oil and fresh herbs, everything changed. Within 2 weeks, her afternoon energy stabilized. 3 months later, her average blood sugar dropped by 18 points, and her creatinine finally stopped climbing. She didn't just eat differently, her body was working differently. And this isn't just anecdotal. Research shows buckwheat's low glycemic load prevents the sharp sugar spikes that drive inflammation, raise uric acid, and harden arteries. Every spike avoided means less silent damage to your kidneys. Preparation is simple: rinse. The groats, boil them in filtered water with a pinch of turmeric or ginger for extra anti-inflammatory support. And avoid salty broths or pre-seasoned mixes that often hide phosphorus preservatives. Half a cup 2 or 3 times per week is enough to make a difference. Here's the part I love telling patients: buckwheat protein is highly bioavailable, but plant-based, giving you the strength you need without burdening your kidneys the way animal protein often does. It's safe fuel, clean energy, and kidney protection all in one bowl. So if you've ever felt sluggish after lunch, ask yourself, was it the rice or was it your kidneys begging for relief? Swap that rice for buckwheat, and you may just feel the difference in days. But here's the thing: gut health is the hidden battleground for kidney health. And there's one grain that not only feeds you, but feeds your gut bacteria, binding toxins before they can ever touch your kidneys. So we've seen how buckwheat can protect fragile kidneys by easing the mineral load. But let's talk about something even more overlooked: barley. Not the instant packets you find in supermarket soups, but real pearl barley or hulled barley. This grain is a hidden powerhouse for kidney health because it doesn't just feed you, it feeds your gut, and that changes everything. Here's why that matters. Your gut is like a gatekeeper. When it's healthy, toxins exit the body smoothly. But when your digestion slows down or your gut bacteria fall out of balance, harmful byproducts leak into your blood. Guess who ends up cleaning them up? Your kidneys. That's extra work they simply can't afford. Barley steps in with a 1-2 punch soluble fiber to bind uremic toxins and carry them out, an insoluble fiber to keep your bowels moving so waste doesn't build up in the first place. I remember David, a 71-year-old retired mechanic who came to me worried that his creatinine was creeping higher every visit. But the real issue wasn't just his kidneys. He was constipated almost daily, forcing his kidneys to pick up the slack. We added half a cup of cooked pearl barley to his dinners 3 times a week, prepared the right way, soaked overnight, boiled like pasta, and rinsed well. Within 10 days, his bowels normalized, and for the first time in 6 months, his creatinine didn't rise. The relief on his face was priceless. And science backs this up. Studies show that when your gut bacteria ferment barley's fibers, they produce short-chain fatty acids that lower inflammation throughout the body, regulate blood pressure, and even stabilize blood sugar. All of that means less pressure on your kidneys. Barley water, a traditional remedy in many cultures, also plays a role. It's simply the cooking liquid left after simmering barley in excess water, clear and unsweetened. This mild drink supports hydration, digestion, and fluid balance, critical when kidneys are under stress. Preparation is everything here. Avoid quick-cook barley mixes loaded with sodium and preservatives. Stick to plain pearl barley, soak it overnight, then boil and rinse to lower residual phosphorus. Flavor it naturally with parsley, turmeric, or a squeeze of lemon. Pair it with kidney-safe veggies like cauliflower or bell peppers, and you have a meal that heals rather than harms. So, the next time you feel bloated, backed up, or just heavy after a meal, ask yourself, is it really your diet, or is it your kidneys crying out for help through your gut? Barley can reset that cycle and give your kidneys the break they've been begging for. But just knowing how to fix digestion isn't the full story, because what if the grain you've been avoiding out of fear, brown rice, actually holds a secret advantage for kidney health if only you prepare it the right way? That's where things get interesting. Barley may reset your gut and take pressure off your kidneys. But let's tackle one of the most misunderstood foods out there. Brown rice. You've probably heard it's off limits for kidney patients. Too much phosphorus, too harsh on the body. And yes, that's what many people believe. But here's the twist. The type of phosphorus in brown rice is bound to compounds your body barely absorbs. Unlike the phosphorus in meat and dairy, which is rapidly absorbed and stresses the kidneys, most of the phosphorus in brown rice passes right through. That means with the right preparation and portion size, brown rice can actually fit into a kidney-healing diet. Let me share a story. Maria, a 62-year-old woman with stage 3 CKD, came to me frustrated. She loved rice but had switched entirely to white rice because everyone told her brown rice was dangerous. The problem, white rice left her hungry faster, leading to snacking on processed foods that raised her blood sugar and fueled inflammation. When we reintroduced brown rice the right way, soaked for hours, cooked in excess water, and drained like pasta, her meals became satisfying again. Within weeks, her blood sugar stabilized, her weight held steady, and her creatinine stopped climbing. She didn't just get food back, she got control back. And the science agrees. Brown rice is rich in magnesium, B vitamins, and slow-burning carbs that deliver steady energy without sugar spikes. For someone managing kidney disease, that stability is priceless. But here's the key: keep portions small, about half a cup of cooked rice per meal. That's enough for energy and fullness without tipping potassium or phosphorus levels too high. Preparation makes all the difference. Soak the rice to loosen minerals, boil it in extra water, and always drain the liquid. Avoid cooking it in salty broth or seasoning it with soy sauce, which silently loads your kidneys with sodium and hidden phosphorus. Instead, pair brown rice with kidney-friendly vegetables like zucchini, cauliflower, or bell peppers. Add fresh herbs, a squeeze of lemon, and a teaspoon of olive oil. The flavor is bright, the digestion is light, and your kidneys are spared unnecessary stress. Pressure cooking is another trick. It breaks down phytates while preserving fiber, making the rice even gentler on digestion. For those managing both kidney issues and insulin resistance, this method can be a game changer. So here's the takeaway. Brown rice isn't your enemy. When prepared wisely, it's a steady source of fuel that helps prevent the snacking cycles that wear your kidneys down. The fear comes from misunderstanding, not from the grain itself. But even with all this, there's still one grain left that's faster, lighter, and even more anti-inflammatory. And it could be the secret weapon your kidneys have been waiting for. Let's talk about Bulgur wheat. So we've cleared the confusion around brown rice, but what if you need something even lighter, quicker and easier to digest, something that gives your kidneys a break without stealing your time in the kitchen? That's where Bulgur wheat comes in. This grain is fast, gentle, and incredibly kidney-friendly. Unlike quinoa or wild rice, bulgur is naturally low in phosphorus and potassium, which makes it a safe option even for people with declining GFR. It's made from whole wheat kernels that are parboiled, dried, and cracked, and that simple processing step actually works in your favor. It shortens cooking time, keeps nutrients intact, and makes the grain easier to digest, all without losing the benefits your kidneys desperately need. One of my patients, Harold, a 70-year-old grandfather, was always skipping meals because cooking felt like a chore. He ended up relying on instant noodles, which are loaded with sodium and phosphorus preservatives. His creatinine shot up and his blood pressure became unstable. When we switched him to bulgur, cooked in just 10 minutes with parsley, lemon, and a drizzle of olive oil, he finally had a quick meal that was both satisfying and kidney safe. Within 2 months, his blood pressure leveled out and his energy returned enough for him to play outside with his grandkids again. Scientifically, bulgur shines in 2 ways. First, it's rich in insoluble fiber, the kind that acts like a broom sweeping waste through your intestines before it can reach your kidneys. Second, it's loaded with B vitamins, including folate, niacin, and B6, which support energy metabolism and regulate homocysteine, a compound tied to cardiovascular risk in kidney patients. Lowering homocysteine eases stress on your blood vessels and protects kidney circulation. And here's something few people realize: bulgur also reduces dietary acid load. That means it helps shift your body away from acid-forming foods like animal protein and processed snacks, creating a more kidney-friendly environment. Preparation couldn't be easier. Standard bulgur cooks in 10-12 minutes. Just mix 1 part bulgur with 2 parts boiling water, cover, and let it soak until fluffy. Avoid boxed pilaf mixes or flavor packets. They hide sodium and additives. that undo the good you're trying to achieve. Instead, flavor it naturally chopped parsley, a squeeze of lemon, maybe a pinch of cumin. The taste is fresh, the digestion is smooth, and your kidneys are protected. So if time, energy, or digestion have been holding you back, Bulgur could be the simplest way to stay consistent without stress. But here's the bigger picture. Eating just one grain won't change your life. The real power comes when you rotate all 5 oats, buckwheat, barley, brown rice, and bulgur. Together they form a rhythm that intercepts waist lowers, inflammation, stabilizes blood sugar, and eases kidney pressure from every angle. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to combine them into a weekly plan that can transform your numbers. You've just learned the 5 simple grains that can take pressure off your kidneys, lower creatinine, and give your GFR a fighting chance. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about small, steady changes. One smart swap, one smart meal, one day at a time. And every step you take is a step away from dialysis and a step toward freedom and energy. If this video gave you clarity or hope, do yourself a favor, hit that save button so you can come back whenever you need a reminder, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. That way you'll always get the latest medical insights and practical kidney health tips delivered straight to you without confusion or guesswork. Because here's the truth, your kidneys are not doomed no matter what your lab results say today. Healing is possible, progress is possible, and you are not alone on this journey. Keep showing up, keep choosing wisely, and little by little, your body will thank you. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.